What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, back with some more Aha, and we're moving to some select bonus material from the Memorial Beach album, 1993. Very much looking forward to this. We're going to start with a demo version of Angel in the Snow, which features Paul on vocals. So yes, I expect the vocals to have a bit different sound than the final album track. I would also say I enjoy this album more notably than when I first went through it. Not that I didn't enjoy it, but ultimately I was still so focused on the energetic, synth-bass driven sound of their first couple albums that when I got to the 90s stuff, and given that a lot of people had mentioned, be prepared for a switch, it's going to be quite different, I was intrigued by and enjoyed the more natural instrument rock sounds of the 90s, but I was also still, as I said, keyed in on the slightly earlier sound that I guess they became worldwide famous for in the previous decade. So I have come to appreciate this album much more over time. I do think it's a fantastic record. And yes, I enjoy the album track a great deal. As I said, I'd expect the vocals to be different here, but at the same time, I will be curious to decipher just how similar to or far away from the rest of the Sonics are relative to the title track, or not the title track, the album track. And yes, ultimately, let's give it a listen. This is Angel in the Snow by Aha, and we're going to hear the demo version from the deluxe edition of the album. A bit more minimal.
Angel, wherever you may go, yeah, I'll follow. Wherever you may go. Always will I be there. Shake worries from your head. Yeah, I'll be there. Wherever you may go.
Little ooh at the end there. So yeah, the Sonics didn't feel terribly different, except they were notably different. Allow me to explain. The album track has that combination of natural instruments with a bit of electronic scope to them, maybe not as 80s electronic as the previous albums, as I was saying, but it still has that mixture of natural instruments meets the strings and the sweep of the tune. This had that, but it felt a little more minimal, a little more stripped down, a bit more acoustic. I do think there's an acoustic guitar in the album version of the track, but here it just felt a bit more down to earth, a bit more natural instrument based. Ultimately, Paul did do the lead vocals, but I do believe we heard Morton doing some doubling moments behind him and then floating off at one particular juncture where it seemed very identifiable. So obviously they toyed around with how the vocals would be done for the final album track before they recorded it, but yeah, I like Paul's voice, and, in a way, at least for part of the song, it felt like, this could be one of the more mellow, down-tempo tunes on a Savoy album. But ultimately, number one, because of those vocal doubling moments where you can hear Morton, at least that's what it sounded like to me, and also because some of the production, it also felt distinct from a Savoy track, so yes, and I get it, at this point Savoy doesn't exist. Ultimately, their first album is still in the future as of this point, but I will say the structure of the track felt fundamentally the same as the original, but the arrangement of it felt different, and as I said, a bit more stripped down or minimal. And yeah, it's just a beautiful tune, no matter who's singing it or how it is put together in terms of the particular arrangement. It just has a softly emotional quality, I would say, and that certainly comes across in the demo. So although they did tinker with it and ultimately readjust the manner in which they presented it on the Memorial Beach album as it was finally released, I would say this was very much on the path to becoming the tune it did. So yeah, a very cool inside look. Again, these behind the scenes explorations of the demos definitely gives you more of a sense of their creative process, the construction of a tune in multiple phases, and as we've gone through multiple albums with demos, it does feel like there's both continuity and exploration and experimentation, so very much enjoy that. Maybe not, I should say, as much experimentation as the pre-debut album demos, which felt like vocally concepts and ultimately the instrumentation were very diverse and trying to find their niche, whereas these demos in the album since then have felt more like, okay, we have a style and maybe we're trying to evolve that style, but there's still a process by where we can build on the initial idea for a track, and by the time it gets to the album it's much more developed. So either way, another cool one. Let me know what you think. I will see you next time. Peace.